What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's actually nice and cool Wednesday afternoon here in Findlay, Ohio. I'm hanging out in the beer shed. I'm sweating just a little bit, but not too much today. As it's a Wednesday, if you're a regular viewer of the show, you know what that means. WTF Wednesday. If you're new to the program, WTF Wednesday is basically the one day a week when I showcase beers on the program that I normally wouldn't do. So sometimes that means stuff from macro brewers like Bud, Miller, Coors, Labatt. Sometimes it means I do strange beers from microbreweries or nano breweries or whatever else I can find. And the one that I have today is IC Light. And this is Iron City Light Beer. And this is from the Pittsburgh Brewing Company in Pittsburgh, PA. Now, a lot of people are going to find this strange. Obviously, I live in Findlay, Ohio now, but I grew up and was born and raised in Philadelphia. But I never saw Iron City, any of these beers, anywhere near where I grew up. Since I moved to Ohio on the western side of the state, I also never see any of these beers. Luckily, Anderson travels to Pittsburgh fairly regularly, and he's bought me back Iron City Mango. Wasn't really thrilled to try that. And Iron City Light. He still hasn't found the regular Iron City, and I went to the website. They also have one called Old German. It has kind of neat retro can art on it. I'd like to get a hold of one of those, if just for the can to see what it's like. So today is this IC Light, 4.2% ABV. I couldn't find the IBUs listed anywhere. I'm guessing they're negligible, if anything. This is kind of an iconic beer, and this is an interesting can. Now, Iron City's been around for quite a while, and it's one of those, I guess they call them prestige or heritage brands that I've always wanted to try. I just never run into them. I was talking to somebody the other day about Peels. I've never had Peels. I've had a lot of the other ones, Schaefer, Schmitz, Schlitz, all that stuff. Growing up, I've run into those Ortliebs over the years, but the one I never come across Iron City, never came across Old Style until pretty recently. Had that maybe a couple years ago. And I'm still, I guess, on the hunt for the regular Iron City beer here. But IC Light, and this is an interesting can, because this one is obviously, obviously paying respects to all of the Pittsburgh sports teams. And on the side here, we have all the banners. It looks like it starts in 1909, 25, 1960. I know these are all Pittsburgh Pirates baseball ones. But with the number of banners, it's obviously all of the teams. So it includes the Penguins and the Steelers. And obviously the last banner is 2017. And I guess they're looking to raise some more. So this is a 24 fluid ounce can. On the can it says the only premium light beer that embodies all things black and gold. IC Light is brimming with bold Iron City flavor. Low on calories and carbs, this is the refreshing crisp taste and smooth finish preferred by champions everywhere. Let's raise another one. And like I said, this one is 95 calories, I guess, per 12 ounces, I'm assuming, and 2.8 carbs. So it is low calorie, relatively low carb there. As far as ratings, this doesn't do particularly well. 2.84 on Untapped, 2.51 on Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate aggregate scores at 62 poor. This is an American light lager. I didn't expect it to do really well on Beer Advocate. And to be fair, I don't expect it to be particularly good. It's a light beer. It is what it is. Now, I will dive into this. As I did grow up in Philadelphia, it's kind of strange. Pittsburgh and Philly are obviously both in Pennsylvania. A lot of people think Philly and Pittsburgh people hate each other. And to be fair, growing up, I really didn't even think too much about Pittsburgh. Now, obviously, the Penguins and Flyers are big rivals. But when it comes to the Pirates and Phillies, not much going on there. Steelers and Eagles are different, leagues. They're AFC, we're NFC, so that didn't really come into the picture there. So it's always been kind of strange to me. Like, people think, oh, Pittsburgh, you guys must be natural enemies. And I was just thinking, look at on MapQuest or whatever they call it now. I did a little Google in here. Pittsburgh's 304 miles from Philly. So for comparison, New York is only 94 miles, Baltimore 106, DC 139, and Boston 307. So literally, if I grew up in Philly, I'm just as close to Boston as I am Philly. So, we're not really natural enemies in that regard because you don't really deal with each other. You're quite far away. And like I said, the one exception being Flyers and Penguins, obviously, bitter rivalry there. But I was happy to get this. I'm a big sports fan, so it's a neat can to have with the banners on the side, and I'll put a photo there so you can see what it looks like. So it's enough yapping. Let's give it a shot. Unfortunately, I don't have any Pittsburgh glasses, right? I got Phillies one. I did the video on this earlier, so I'm going with that. No disrespect to the Pittsburgh folks. Phillies and Pirates both suck anyway. I don't think anybody cares about either of those franchises right now. All right, look at that one. Probably just a little bit more in here. Throw it down old style. Color, it's see-through yellow, like I would kind of expect in a beer of this style. Head, not a heck of a lot. I got maybe a finger's worth on this giant glass here, and it's kind of dissipating rather quickly. It's a bit of a soapy white head. Let's give it a sniff. Not much of a nose on it at all. If I was pushed and had to pick something, extremely light malt and not much else, no real hops presence, nothing else that really jumps out at me. And again, it's an American light lager. I wasn't expecting to. My squirrel buddy is here. He's coming into the cabin. Anderson will be excited. I have a 25-pound bag of peanuts here. I think once he realizes it's there, he's going to come through and steal them. But he's making his way to the doorway. We'll see what happens. I envision one day I'm going to lure him up here to hang out and do a video, but we'll have to see. All right, let's give it a shot. Not a heck of a lot going on. Obviously, it's light bodied, like it says. As to the taste, like most light beers, I think it kind of tastes like a watered down pilsner or something like that. And I'd imagine that's what a lot of these are, kind of based on a pilsner, and you kind of dilute it to some extent to lower the calories and the carbs. What do I think of it? I'll tell you this. I don't think it's particularly good. That being said, there's nothing that I find terribly offensive about it. So, does it have any off flavors or off taste or smells? Not at all. Is it overly hoppy? No, it's probably under hopped, if anything, if you're, a hop head here. And I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know what to do with it. It's really not particularly good. I would say this. I understand that you can't compare this to the Russian Rivers and Three Floyds and all that stuff. So you can only compare this against essentially its peers. If I were to stack this up against some of the other light beers, and I have a whole playlist on light beers and low-calorie beers, would I pick this? The answer is probably no. If you were to look at this in the old days and it was this and Coors Light and some of the other ones, Miller Lite, I don't know, maybe it's odds fair better. But there are so many decent light beers now and kind of lower calorie beers by Lagunitas and folks like that, that this one's probably not going to make the cut. Now, again, my criteria is, would I drink another one of these? And the answer is going to be no. So it would be a thumbs down. Now, do I think this is a terrible beer? Of course not. I'm sure there are a lot of people that enjoy this. If you're at a baseball game or hockey game and this is all they had, I'm sure you'd be fine with it. But it's not something that I would seek out or, try to drink again. Thrilled to be able to try it because Iron City is such an iconic brand. And big thanks to Anderson for bringing this one out here to me. But, if I'm using my criteria, would I have another? The honest answer is no, I wouldn't. So hopefully you liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. And as always, if you have any comments or questions, jump in down below. If you're an IC Light fan and think I got it wrong, let me know what you think of it. If you think it's better than some of the other light brews out there, let me know why. And conversely, if you like the other light brews better, let me know why. Hey, till next time. Cheers.